My media project. Question 1. In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? My trailer.
Just let me go!
My trailer challenges forms and conventions because of its release date. I decided that it would be released on Valentine's Day, where people would want to go and see a romantic film. I decided this release date because my film had some elements of romance in it because of the female character's obsession. My trailer used conventions by showing clips of the films that would keep the audience's interest, such as the clip showing the male character tied up, making them want to see the film so they can find out how he gets there and what happens next. I also looked at the music conventions trailer used. Most use dark tones or high-pitched sounds to create the tension. I decided to use both of these to create tension in various ways so that my audience knew what certain sounds meant, such as the darker tones I used when the text was about to appear on screen, whereas the high-pitched sound plays when the girl is revealed sitting behind the boy after she has captured him. I also decided to use repetition because it would make the music memorable to the audience, making them know that the music relates to my trailer. I haven't challenged many forms and conventions when creating my poster. There are 3 main conventions used when creating posters: the film title, the release date, the names of those involved in making the film, such as the actors, directors and editors. I also added the film's website to the bottom of the poster, which isn't always put on every poster, but some viewers want to look at the film's website to see if they can find out more information about the film before they go and see it. When analysing different posters that were of the same genre as the film I was looking to make, I looked at how they created the tension and suspense within the poster itself. The first poster I took some inspiration from was Obsessed. Because of its bold text used for the film title, it stood out on the poster, as well as the main characters taking up a lot of space on the poster, not leaving much blank space, but this also showed the character's status within the film. I used a lot of conventions from the single white female poster I analysed, such as having the names of the 2 main characters at the top of the page, with other people in the production's names at the bottom. I also liked how they had some of the picture bright and others dark, which added to the tension because those looking at it would see that something dark would happen in the film, and this is what I did with my own poster, making some parts darker than others. One thing I noticed in both posters was that the main character or characters was placed to one side of the poster and not in the middle. Usually in the middle it draws your attention to them first, but this made you also look around the poster. With my magazine front cover, I didn't always challenge the conventions. I kept things such as house style of film magazines, which typically use red, white, black or grey to represent this type of genre of film. I have used conventions that magazines such as Empire use, which is, as well as putting the word plus to show what else is inside the magazine, they also put a plus sign. I then looked at the conventions such as placing banners which tell the reader about the contents of the magazine and how magazines separate them, with Empire magazine using 2 diagonal lines, whereas I decided to use dots, but still kept it within my house style. Also from this Empire magazine, I saw how they used block shapes to align text without it having to touch the side of the page, which also stood out on the page because once again I used my house style colours. I also went with conventions when it came to the image, such as using a mid-shot or close-up, including the aspect of it including a prop from the film. After analysing some of the magazine covers, I looked at how the image would affect my front cover. Most front covers I looked at had a long shot image, but this meant a lot of careful planning on placing the image so it looked right on the page, then having enough other contents to fit on the page without making it look too crowded or too empty. Then one cover I looked at had a close-up of a character, which I decided would work really well for my own front cover because of the camera being closer to her face. You would be able to see more of her emotions. This also worked for me being able to put the image behind the masthead because I wasn't cutting off too much of my image, and not having to look at carefully placing the text so it didn't cover most of my image.